everybody, and welcome back to the KK Zone. As always, I am Kara Kaufman, I am your host, and dear viewers, in the interest of full disclosure, I am coming at you on Monday evening. Normally, this is my Sunday segment where I talk about the week, I do the Sony Awards. I didn't want to deprive you of all that, but as full disclosures go, I was a little out of it this weekend. I got my second COVID vaccine, which was so exciting. I'm thrilled, but it did knock me for a little bit of a loop, so I was not able to get this video done. But I did not want you to miss out on all the fun stuff I have to tell you, so I'm doing it now. We're going to pretend that it is yesterday, and in that spirit, I am thrilled to report the Yankees have won their 4-game series against Cleveland. That is fantastic. As we all know, 4-game series are very hard to win, and the Yankees succeeded in doing that. They won 3 out of 4. We love to see that. Now, they had a shot at the sweep, and they couldn't quite come through with that, but nevertheless, a very satisfying result. And this comes after, earlier in the week, they had split 2 games with Atlanta, so ultimately, they ended up going 4-2 this week, which, while nothing groundbreaking, is certainly a vast improvement on what we've seen, and maybe, possibly, a harbinger of better times to come. Let's hope so. Now, I didn't want my recaps to be too far removed from the actual games themselves, so you'll see this incredibly high-quality cell phone footage of me doing these recaps as I could. I did the Thursday and Friday games on Saturday afternoon, and then I recapped the Saturday game that very evening, and I will do the Sunday game right here, right now, after you see all those. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and recap all these games, shall we? I'm going to start myself, give myself 2 minutes here to try and summarize what happened in these 2 games. How much can I say? We'll find out. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, these 2 games had a pretty similar beginning in that they both started with the Yankees going down 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning, which is just bad. That's bad. You hate to see it. In the first case, Domingo Germán was actually okay, but the defense was calamitous. Just error after bad play, after what the heck was that in the outfield, etc. 3 runs scored. In Montgomery's case, he had no control and walked a bunch of guys. But in both cases, the Yankees, who as we know have not been scoring a lot of runs, down 3-0 feels a little dire. The mood was not good. But never fear, because in both cases, they managed to come back. And actually, in both cases, the bullpen and the starting pitchers after that first inning managed to allow no more runs. That's right. The first game the Yankees won 6-3, and the second game was 5-3, and in both cases, the only 3 runs Minnesota had were in the first inning. So it makes for a stressful first inning for sure, but after that, pretty impressive stuff. The Yankee bullpen continues to be unbelievable. That is so many scoreless innings in a row. Aroldis Chapman, again, unhittable. 2 1-2-3 innings. He only struck out 1 guy in the Friday night game. As a result, he broke his 15 straight game streak of striking out 2 guys. Whatever. Streak's over, too bad, but he still looks absurdly good early in the season. And on the offensive side, Friday's game, 4 home runs for the Yankees, including 2 absolute bullets by Giancarlo Stanton. In fact, first time in recorded history, 2 home runs over 115 miles an hour exit velocity were hit in the same game. It would have to be Stanton to do that. Only that guy can do that. But Aaron Hicks also homered, and Rougned Odor, who I've been pretty harsh on, came through both games. He had the the go-ahead single in the Thursday game, and the game-tying home run in Friday's game. So that guy's been coming through pretty well. Overall, lackluster at the beginnings of games, but seems like there's actually some comeback spirit in this squad, which looks really good. The only other notes that I have here are the Yankees walked in Thursday's game 9 times. 9 walks. That's really good. And they actually did most of it against Aaron Saval, who doesn't really walk a lot of guys. That's my timer going off, so I'll finish up by saying that it was 9 walks versus 10 strikeouts, which that's a ratio for the Yankees you will take. All right, those are the first 2 games. They were good. Hopefully the next 2 are equally as good. Hey guys, it is now Saturday night, and the Yankees have just beaten the Clevelanders 2-1. I'm going to recap this game. I'm going to do it in 60 seconds because, to be honest with you, I just got my second vaccine today, which, yay, go science, go medicine, go everyone. But I'm sleepy, so I'm going to give myself 1 minute on the nose to recap this win. Let's try it. Ready, set, go. 2-1. This is a pitcher's duel. It was advertised as a pitcher's duel. It's the Indians' best versus the Yankees' best. Shane Bieber versus Garrett Cole, and it was all that and more. Bieber struck out 9 Yankees and Cole struck out 11 Clevelanders, and that was all in 7 innings of strong work from each. Unbelievable. Yankees snuck away with the win here because of 2 solo home runs, both in the same inning. First by Aaron Hicks, his first big hit from the left side of the year. Hopefully that gets him going. And the second from Rougned Odor, who I regret saying distasteful things about because he's been really good. Not distasteful, disparaging, that's what we wanted. Because he's been great for the Yankees. So many go-ahead hits in these past couple games. Gotta love that. Meanwhile, in other news, Jonathan Loizaga got his first career save. Johnny Lasagna, good job. But it was a 4-out save, too, and came in with a man on second. All of which is very impressive. Love to see that for him. Without Chapman or Green available, pitching 2 days in a row each, he came in, nailed it down. Yankees win the third of this 4-game set, 3 in a row for them now, the first 3-game winning streak all season. Can they keep it going? Come back tomorrow to find out. And the last thing to recap is going to be Sunday's game, so let's take care of that right now. Ready, set, go. Sunday afternoon in Cleveland, Yankees going for the sweep, and I will spare you suspense, they did not get the sweep. They lost this last game 3-7, and interestingly, it was the first game in which they took a lead first. So apparently in this series, taking the lead early was a recipe for a loss. Ultimately, the exciting parts of this, Jameson Taillon looked fantastic for 3 innings. He then had a really rough fourth, some of which was bad luck, some of which was bad pitching. And then, for some reason, Aaron Boone went to Nick Nelson next, with the game very much not out of hand yet. Nelson, who we know has a lot of potential, but has certainly not been the strongest bullpen link so far, did not get it done. The lead ballooned, it got a bit deflating for the Yankees. And then Luis Sessa, who I would have brought in before Nick Nelson, came in and actually, as usual, was fantastic. I'm sorry you had to pitch in a loss on your birthday, Luis. You deserve better. You've been doing great. The other good news for the Yankees, though, was for the first time this season, they hit back-to-back homers. Yes! And who was it? Which big boppers was it? Well, it was Gio Urshela and Mike Ford. Of course! You can't predict baseball, Susan, as they say. Something else really cool was Clint Frazier. At this point, the game was pretty much over. It was the 9th inning, and, there was no need. But he made an amazing, diving, leaping, fully airborne Superman catch, which I'm sure Sessa appreciated, as it saved him giving up a base hit there. And you love to see it. For me, watching Clint try to prove that defense is something he can do, you love to see it. Okay, that was a lot of recapping. My ultimate takeaway here was, as I talked about with Kyle in our awesome conversation, which if you've not checked out, I recommend, the Indians have really, really good pitching. So for a team like the Yankees, who are certainly not hitting, like, at all right now, coming in against that really good pitching team and managing to scratch across enough runs to win is an encouraging sign. Yankees pitching also did a pretty good job, though admittedly the Cleveland offense is not incredibly formidable. That being said, everyone did their job, winning 3 out of 4. You call that a nice week in Cleveland, and you move on. Okay, the next thing I have to talk about, and I absolutely must talk about this. I've already brought up the Dodgers and the Padres once. They had a really exciting series recently, last week before, sometime recently. But they had another series this weekend, and people, this is must-watch television. I don't care what team you like, I don't care what time zone you live in. If you have the ability to watch the Dodgers and the Padres play, you must. I will admit to not watching all the games myself, but I watched Sunday's game in its entirety, and I did not regret it for 1 second. Part of that is because, first of all, shameless plug here, not for myself, but for the StatCast alternate broadcast. It is unbelievable. Mike Petriello and friends do a fantastic job of both calling the game like a normal game, but also bringing in all the StatCast metrics in ways that are truly enlightening and fascinating to anybody. Whether it's my roommate watching the game, knowing not as much about the deeper dive into the metrics, or myself, who I consider, somewhat versed. Truly fascinating stuff, really adds. Plus, they're a great team and clearly have fun doing these broadcasts. Number 2, though, that game was bonkers. So these teams have played 7 games so far, and if this were a 7-game playoff series, it would be a very memorable one that we talk about for years to come. And it's only April. They play, 12 more times? I can't wait. They are just all so good. Both teams have so much talent, have so many personalities, so many stars. It's hard to know where to begin. This last one on Sunday, I'll just reference because I watched it. The Dodgers got off to an early, huge lead. Dustin May pitched great for them, had a career high in strikeouts, and the Dodgers were cruising. They had an 8-1 lead off of no slouch himself, Joe Musgrove, who just wasn't quite getting that put-away pitch in order that night. 8-1 Dodgers going into the late innings. You feel like that's pretty good, but Dodgers bullpen didn't have all its main pieces, and the Padres, if any team doesn't give up, they do not give up, came right back and tied it, and we went to extras. This featured some crazy calls, some daring base running, some really impressive defense, and some less impressive defense. Just anything that could have happened, you name it, happened, including future Hall of Fame pitcher for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw, pinch hitting with the bases loaded. Like, that is absolute brain-exploding stuff. Both benches were emptied, so there were pitchers hitting on both sides. It was unreal. I mean, unfortunately, Clayton Kershaw didn't get the walk-off hit because that would have been just the bow on top of this whole series. But even without that, this had everything. So, my recommendation to all of you is you must watch Dodgers-Padres. Yes, it is so fun. It is so high drama. Just a delight. And as one final addendum to that, we cannot talk about the Padres at all, or really baseball at all, without Fernando Tatis Jr. coming up. This kid, we knew he was a star. He was hurt a bit last year. This year, though, he also was hurt a bit. But even despite that, he has been absolutely unstoppable on the field, and there is pretty much no better example of this than that Dodgers-Padres series. It was 3-game set, and he hit 2 homers in the first game, 2 homers in the second game, as well as a big homer in the third game. You just could not stop him. And that's against some brand names, too. Against that very aforementioned Clayton Kershaw, against Trevor Bauer, and against Dustin May, all of whom are really good pitchers for the Dodgers. So Tatis is not just beating up on some mediocre middle relievers. He is really getting after it against the best of the best. And the coolest thing of all, Tatis' dad, Major Leaguer Fernando Tatis Sr., as you might have guessed from his name, had an incredibly memorable day on April 23rd, many years back, when he hit 2 grand slams in the same inning, off the same pitcher. That probably won't happen again. Pitchers these days would probably not be allowed to stay in the game long enough for that to have a chance of happening. But this did happen. Unbelievable. Really, really, really cool. And guess what happened in the same ballpark on the same exact day of the month? You guessed it, Tatis Jr., 2 homers against the Dodgers. And the first of those, they weren't in the same inning like his dad's. They weren't grand slams like his dad's. But the first one of those was in the same inning, the third inning, as both of his dad's grand slams. Baseball is unbelievable. What a really, really cool story. Improbable, to say the least. And so fun. Also, the guy plays with such confidence and such delight, you just can't help but stare at him on the field. So, my recommendation: watch the Dodgers-Padres, and also just follow Tatis Jr. and enjoy everything about him. But wait, there's more. I mentioned Tatis hit all those home runs, and I mentioned 2 of them were off Trevor Bauer. So Bauer, we know, has a very large online presence, for better or for worse. I think kind of for worse, but you know what? To each his or her own. But in any case, Tatis hit these 2 homers against Bauer, and then they had a bit of an exchange. First off, I will compliment Bauer by saying that when asked after the game about Tatis kind of trolling him a little while he was running around the bases, Bauer said, "I think it's great, I think it's fun." I agree, personality, bring it on, agree with you there, Trev. Now, where it gets a little interesting, so what Tatis had done was, during spring training, earlier in the year, there was a story where Bauer pitched a whole inning with one eye closed. I don't know why, to see if he could. That's kind of dumb. He got some shit for it. So Tatis, after hitting a homer off him, ran around the bases covering one of his eyes. This is funny and cute. That's what Bauer was referring to when he was saying, it's fun. Cool, great. Later in the game, cameras at one point before Tatis hit a homer caught him kind of looking down towards the catcher. Now, was he stealing signs? No, he was not. He couldn't see them that way. And if he could see them, that's on the catcher for not doing a very good job shielding the signs. In any case, this is a whole big nothing burger. However, Bauer did retweet the video clip, with a bit of a challenge to Tatis Jr., shall we say. Here is that tweet. And then Tatis Jr., though, never is one to shy away from some fun online banter, replied with this. Come on, division rivals have that kind of fun exchange early on in the season. They're going to face each other so many more times. This has become must-watch television. You must watch. Okay, but back to the Yankees though, because this is ostensibly about the Yankees, this YouTube channel. So we love our pinstripers, and hey, I've got some more good news, and it is sort of whiteboard of doom adjacent. I'm not going to bring out the whiteboard though, because nothing has actually changed, except we have had 2 of our guys who've been out report to the alternate site, which, contrary to what it sounds like, is a good thing, not a creepy thing. So Luke Voigt and Miguel Andujar both are now in Scranton, which is fantastic. That means they are both healing from their various ailments and are both approaching a return, particularly key for Luke Voigt, who, my goodness, it's obvious how much we miss him. So, that's great news. Stay tuned for how that progresses. Well, if it is Sunday, then there must be an award show on, and I am not talking about the Oscars, which I did not watch. I am talking about this week's Sony Awards! We've got some hardware to give out, and as always, we will begin with that overarching award, Best in Show. Hey, guess what? It's Garrett Cole! Is it going to be Garrett Cole every week? I don't know. It's been Garrett Cole 3 times so far. I kind of sort of thought that at some point a batter might get it, but no, it's Garrett Cole. He had to face the ace of the Indians, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, and his lineup really hadn't been hitting at all, so he had very little leeway, and he won the battle and won the game for the Yankees. So that's enough for me to give it to Garrett Cole. I will give honorable mention to Aroldis Chapman, who has continued to be absolutely lights out dominant, so props to him. But best in show, yeah, it's Cole. Every week has got its delightful moments, so who gets the award this week for Delightful Mo? I've got 2 moments tied for most delightful of this week, and they both fall in the same category of I love when they're friends. You know I do. And there were 2 cases this week where they were friends. The first one was the aforementioned Aroldis Chapman. He closed out the first game of the week against the Braves, and he did it by retiring his old buddy Guillermo Heredia. And that was, that's classic. He gets out a lot of guys. But what happened here was he got the out. He went and he and the catcher, Gary Sanchez, exchanged a little oh, good job, good job. And then, I've never seen him do this, Chapman walked right past, over to Heredia, who he had just gotten out to end the game, and gave him a little, hug around the shoulder, walk a bit, tap, tap, you did a great job. I love that. I didn't realize that apparently they go a long way back, and even though it's competition, and if anyone gets scary and heated, it's definitely Chapman, even after that, he could walk over to his old buddy and be like, it's good to compete against you, bro. Have a great day. Love to see that. And the second one was in the Cleveland series. So Franmil Reyes had a fantastic series. He hit for power, and he killed the Yankees on the bases with his speed? He's a big dude, not that fast. He hit some triples, that was nuts, and this is the craziest, he stole a base. I don't know what's going on. Neither, in fact, did Gary Sanchez know what was going on. So in fact, after Reyes stole that base, he eventually didn't score on it, and as he's trotting back to the dugout between innings, he and Gary Sanchez had a cute moment where Gary was clearly like, what the heck, dude? You aren't that fast. And Franmil was like, haha, I know, but I gotcha. It was pretty cute. Cameras caught it. Love it. So, Gary Sanchez, Aroldis Chapman. I love when you're friends with the guys. Next award is the Miaculpa Award. That one's on me. This goes to somebody I may have maligned, who may have proven me wrong. Yeah, it's Rougned Odor. Now, okay, I don't think I want him batting cleanup, which he currently is, however, he won us 3 games this week. So, that is not nothing. Those count in the standings. He did great work in order to get us to that place. And when no one else is hitting, and you're hitting, you are clearly the spark that we need. So, Rougned Odor, I am sorry that I have slandered your name. I appreciate your efforts on behalf of the Yankees. We all do. Thank you. Next award this week, it is the Mightiest Muscles Award. Yeah, that doesn't go to me. It does go to Giancarlo Stanton. Shocking. That guy's all muscles. Muscles on muscles. But what did he do to deserve this award this week besides just being him? Well, he hit 2 home runs in a game. Sure, not the first time, nor probably the last in his career he'll do that. But what he did while hitting those 2 home runs was something that no one has yet done in Major League Baseball, which is they both left the bat at 115 miles an hour or faster, which is mind-boggling. So all those muscles went towards absolutely demolishing some baseballs into orbit, and for his feats of great strength, Giancarlo Stanton gets the Mightiest Muscles Award this week. One more award to give out today, and that one is Most Ready for his Close-Up. And who is it who's got a future in film and is ready for the camera at all moments? It's gonna surprise you. It's DJ LeMahieu. That's right, the guy who most probably would like it if there were no cameras in the stadium, this week got his close-up whether he wanted to or not. He made a fantastic catch right into the netting on a foul ball in Cleveland, and the place where that ball was right in front of a camera. So, despite his best efforts, DJ ended up with his face directly in a lens, way closer than I am to mine now, and it made for this amazing screen grab. Come on, how fun is that? There is a view you do not usually get of a Major League ball player in action. Love it! And DJ, hey, the camera loves you, buddy. Okay, I think that about does it for me this week. However, before we go, I've got a whole 4 days of haikus to give you. So we'll see if this creates a haiku arc of sorts. I don't know. Let's find out. So, starting on Friday. What is this feeling? Could it be joy in watching my baseball team hit? Yeah, it was surprising. I didn't know what it was, and I think that might have been it. I'm diagnosing it. It was joy in watching my team hit. Please, may it continue. And then from Saturday, back-to-back comebacks, bullpen dominance throughout. These are things we like. Yes, they are. If both those things keep happening, then more games shall be won, and I shall continue to be a happy camper. From Saturday's game, Garrett Cole, Garrett Cole, Garrett Cole, Garrett Cole. We are so lucky. I think that says it all. I mean, he was my MVP again for the week. The guy's unreal. Every day we watch him is a day that we should all feel incredibly fortunate that he's on our team. Yeah. All right, and then one more for Sunday. Middle inning woes, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. On to Baltimore. And that is true. On to Baltimore. We are going for another 4-game series. This one against the Orioles at Camden Yards, a place the Yankees generally like to hit, so maybe they'll hit there. I don't know. Could be fun. Let's try it out. And of course, you know I can't leave you without a quote. This one from the wonderful William Finn, musical theater lyricist and composer, from his musical A New Brain. It is this. Getting somewhere at last is a sign of things improving. And you know what? That really rings true for me this week because surely the Yankees are not all the way there yet. I want to see them scoring even more runs. I want to see them playing even crisper games. And hopefully they'll get there. But it cannot be denied. Things have been improving and winning 4 out of 6 in the week. Hey, nothing to sneeze at. That will do. So I'm hoping it is a sign that eventually this upward trajectory will continue and we'll end up where we want to be, which is a team that is scary and no one wants to play. So let's hope we get to that point in the soon or very soon. I will see you in Baltimore after those games get underway. And until then, go Yanks.